How's it going, everyone? My name is Jonathan Zaharek, and welcome back to another High Peaks Report. If you're new here, welcome to the #1 Adirondack hiking YouTube channel. As I said in the intro, my name is Jonathan Zaharek. I'm a professional photographer, guide, and YouTuber. Right before we get going, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of the 10% off deal here at High Peaks Cyclery in Lake Placid. If you find yourself here before the new year rolls over, December 31st of 2023, well, you get 10% off pretty much all winter gear and clothing inside of the store. Just mention this video or the winter gear video right here from before. With that being said, let's get right into it. Today is December 21st, which means it is the first day of winter hiking, at least the official winter solstice, which is what constitutes a winter hike. If you hiked yesterday, even though today is the exact same conditions, well, you didn't complete a winter hike. And if in November you hiked with 3 feet of snow on the ground, well, you also did not complete a winter hike. Remember that your winter hike only counts if it's December 21st through March 21st. Speaking of winter, it doesn't really feel like it outside right now. Many of you are aware that this past Monday, the entire Northeast got drenched by an absolute monster storm that stretched all the way from Costa Rica all the way to Greenland. This storm brought around 3 inches of localized rain to our area, destroying most of the snow below 2,500 feet and completely flooding all the rivers. I went around, documented a little bit of what that looks like. You can see here the Ausable River, rivers along Route 73, Adirondack Lodge Road, Route 86, and as well as road destruction. And also Route 73 coming up from Keene is currently being constructed on, and knowing how long New York State takes to work on things, it might not be open fully until the spring. But hopefully by New Year's they actually fix the issue. Many of you are probably wondering, well, how has that affected the trail conditions? Well, yesterday I actually went up to the Lower Great Range through the AMR, and well, this is where you're going to be able to see firsthand of what are the conditions and what you can expect coming this weekend and probably into the end of this month. As I said before, most snow below 2,500 feet is completely gone, but as you hike higher up on the trails, you'll notice tons of washout with snow kind of up on the sides. All of this snow has solidified and it's kind of very firm. There's a ton of ice at lower elevation trails, and it's been very cold following the storm. And because of that, we also still got 3 to 5 inches of fresh snow on Tuesday above 4,000 feet. Here are the conditions on Gothics. I was using my snowshoes up there still, and up until about 4,000 feet, I was only using my microspikes. So you can expect hard-packed trail conditions. Microspikes will probably be fine, but of course, bring your snowshoes. Do not leave your car without your snowshoes. And it does not matter if you think the trail will be packed down and you don't need them. You are still legally required to carry your snowshoes in high peaks wilderness zones. We're not looking to get much snow precipitation within the next week, so you can probably expect these conditions to be pretty prominent everywhere else in the park, as long as people hiked it within the last week. The trail conditions aren't going to feel too wintry until maybe January. Pray for snow. Make sure that if you do go out there and you see a fellow hiker without snowshoes or destroying the trail, make sure you light them up. No, I'm just kidding. Make sure you guys are kind and courteous and treating everyone well, and to just inform, because some people just don't know the rules, and we want to make sure they understand that this is not the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And of course, make sure you have your tent essentials, your winter essentials, and of course, in the wintertime, still leave no trace and avoid stepping on alpine vegetation. You can find links to the DEC emails, my go-to weather source for summit weather down below, and as well as many other links that I will be sharing throughout the rest of this video. I'm going to keep this report a little bit shorter than normal because I'm just starting these up. I want to hear from you guys. Speaking of which, let's get into Q&A. Q&A is a time where you, the viewer, can ask me questions, whether it's regarding this particular week, season, or something in general regarding gear or summer hiking. It can be anything, as long as it's Adirondack and hiking related in general. You guys can find the Q&A link in the description below. Scott asks, where did all the snow go? Well, Scott, maybe like the birds, the snow also decided to fly south. I was really hopeful it was going to be a good winter, because if this rain turned into snow, guys, we would have like 3 feet. Mike asks, when do you use snowshoes? Well, the rules are kind of a little weird, because is it saying that if there's more than 8 inches of snow that you have to physically be wearing them? Or is it if there's 8 inches of snow you need to carry them and you just need to make sure to use them responsibly? It's kind of weird, but as long as there is enough snow on the ground, you should at least carry them, and you should have the wisdom to know that when you need to put your snowshoes on, because sometimes the snow will be a lot deeper than 8 inches and microspikes are necessary for that situation instead of your snowshoes. The reason why we have the snowshoe rule is so that the trails remain safe and easy in the wintertime for everyone else. And of course, you don't want to get hit with a $250 fine for not wearing your snowshoes. Aiden asks, what is a good guideline to backcountry ski setup? Well, guess what? In a future video here shortly, I'm going to be bringing you, through High Peak Cyclery, an in-depth guide to backcountry skiing here in the Adirondacks. Everything from safety, gear, preparation, kinds of skis, everything from beginner to advanced. So look forward to that video. Ethan asks, what is the most creative tip you have come across for hiking, backpacking, or in the Adirondacks and the high peaks? For me, in the summertime, believe it or not, a fanny pack. A fanny pack in the front allows you to have quick access maybe to your phone, your earbuds, if you're backpacking particularly. But if you kind of leave that stuff elsewhere, you can have your food. There's even these awesome bandages that are better than any blister prevention item in your backpack. I just started using these and they are absolutely awesome. So a fanny pack in the summertime, and in the wintertime, keeping your water from freezing. Two good methods for this, as I've mentioned previously, is taking an Nalgene, putting a wool sock over it, and flipping it upside down. The same thing with a Hydro Flask. You can even get an insulated pouch for a water bladder, and you put warmer water in the water bladder, put it in the insulated pouch, and put it in the water bladder section of your backpack, and your body heat will actually keep it remarkably warm, as well as the insulated pouch. But you don't use a bladder hose for the bladder. You would have to physically take the bladder out and actually, use the bladder manually. And Nathan asks, what do you think the hardest high peak is? This is a very subjective question depending on conditions, depending on the time of year. Are you asking a different range? Are you talking about mountains singularly? What I tell people that if you were to just hike one mountain by itself in favorable conditions, I personally think probably one of the most challenging ones would be Haystack. Second to Allen. Allen, yes, is remote. It's a little harder to follow, and there's river fordings and all these other things. But the thing is, Haystack is only half a mile shorter, but it's way more exposed. There's way more scrambles and steeper terrain. And Allen, although it is the most remote singular high peak in the Northeast, that's what makes that one inherently dangerous. But Haystack, physically, even just the whole range, Haystack Basin, Saddleback, I think is one of the more dangerous hikes. Normally at this time at the end of the video, I would showcase a bunch of your photos that you've submitted using the Instagram hashtag HighPeaksReport, but I don't have any recent ones from you guys because I haven't made one of these. So make sure whenever you share your winter hiking or just your hiking photos in general that you use the hashtag HighPeaksReport, and you might be featured on this video. I got an insane amount of things in the works, guys, coming this winter. The shoulder season, November to December, is kind of hard to put content out, but the amount of content that I'm going to be putting out, and I got a massive project that I'm going to be launching in 2024 that, of course, you guys are going to be able to be a part of. As always, if you enjoy this content, because I'm a small channel, I want to be able to keep putting this stuff out there, and it's a lot of work and effort. You can go ahead and support me on Patreon, and through there you get a ton of exclusive videos that I only make for Patreon supporters, and you get a bunch of other exclusive content, so check that out if you want to support the channel. And of course, it being a holiday season, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is for you, I hope you have a good one, and Happy New Year as well. I'm Jonathan Zaharek. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video, and I'll see you on the trails.